Dear friends, this is Abdul Basit and you're watching Kaleidoscope. Frankly speaking, if we want to, we can find fault with everything if we want to. Since I am not a politician, nor am I affiliated with any political party, I try to look at things objectively, issues as much as humanly possible. We all have our prejudices, our subjectivities, but I do try to be impartial in my analysis. I think that our Prime Minister's address at the UNGA yesterday on the 24th of September was spot on when it came to, particularly when it came to Kashmir and Afghanistan. Talking about Kashmir, it was all music to my ears that he reiterated Pakistan's stance that the dispute should be addressed in accordance with the relevant UN Security Council resolutions. And then secondly, he also highlighted as to how India has unleashed state terrorism in occupied Kashmir. For example, the way India snatched the mortal remains of the iconic Kashmiri leader Sayyid Ali Shah Gilani was, one doesn't really find words as to how to express your sentiments and your feelings and how to react to this blatant act on the part of the Indian government. To snatch mortal remains from the family and then bury him, do not allow his funeral according to Islamic rituals, and do not allow the family to participate in the funeral. So that was barbaric in every respect. So it was good that the Prime Minister reiterated our principled stance on Jammu and Kashmir and reiterated forcefully. So that was very, very good. Secondly, I also felt happy when he mentioned about how the BJP government, which obviously draws its inspiration from the RSS, how it is treating the minorities, particularly the Muslim minority in India. And then he mentioned about the situation of mosques in India. And I have visited during my stint in New Delhi. I visited many mosques, not only in New Delhi but across India. And I can say with full confidence that those mosques are in terrible shape. Even you go to Jamia Masjid in Delhi or Fatehpuri Masjid in India, in Delhi, and then also one of the oldest mosques, Khidki Masjid, that is now dysfunctional. But even these two mosques, which are in the heart of the old city of Delhi, they are in terrible shape, and the government is hardly, they hardly bother. And I also mentioned this in my own book, Hostility, as well. And mentioning about minorities was perfectly justified because in accordance with the Nehru Liaquat Pact of 8th April 1950. So I'm glad that our Prime Minister did mention about these things. On Afghanistan, as I also suggested 4 or 5 days ago, that what should the Prime Minister be saying? And I'm glad that rather than setting preconditions, he put the entire issue, the Afghanistan issue, in its correct perspective. And he obviously, as a leader, Pakistan leader, he tried to tell the world that it was Pakistan which suffered hugely. Apart from Afghanistan, it was Pakistan which had suffered hugely, and we cannot afford to see Afghanistan once again getting into chaos and anarchy. So his, I think he was correct on Afghanistan as well, and he struck all the right notes, and one hopes that the international community would listen to him, because Pakistan, obviously, as a neighbor, we know the ground realities, And we have been trying during the last so many years to bring about peace and stability in Afghanistan. But obviously there are so many other players who have used Afghanistan for their proxy war against Pakistan. So these facts are well known now. On the other hand, I think the India right to reply touched new laws of banality and brazenness, in my view. And the Indian representative reiterated or repeated all those hackneyed, trite allegations against Pakistan. They have this word terrorism have become a kind of permanent thing in their diplomatic statements. So I found the Indian right to reply, or their reply to our Prime Minister's address, rather boring, and it was all humdrum in my view. So overall, I think the Prime Minister did a good job. He also talked about the ill-gotten money parked in the developed countries, ill-gotten money in the developing world, and that we should be doing something about it. And then he also talked about the climate change issue, and though Pakistan does not contribute much in climate change, but we are one of the 10 vulnerable countries to climate changes. So Pakistan is doing its best, and then he also talked about the COVID-19 and how Pakistan has been successful by and large in containing the virus. And it was good to see that the Prime Minister mentioned all the important points. Some people in Pakistan are criticizing him that he did not talk about the domestic issues. I think there was no point to talk about the domestic issues. I think because this was the international forum, it was a high-level segment, and the Prime Minister did the right thing by focusing on the core issues, the important issues from Pakistan's viewpoint: Kashmir, Afghanistan, corruption, and climate change. And I'm glad that the Prime Minister did not deviate from his written speech. He did deviate a little bit, but not too much, and that was good, that he kept his focus on important issues. So thank you very much, Mr. Prime Minister, for such a very good address, speech, good contents, and good delivery. And I, as a common Pakistani, I appreciate you for your speech at the UNGA. Thank you very much.